Should the UK remain in the European Union? Soon we'll all be asked to decide. According to the Prime Minister, it's one of the biggest political choices in a lifetime. But first, David Cameron is trying to negotiate a new deal with European leaders. And today, addressing a business conference in London, he said unless the EU changed, he'd rule nothing out.
Is this organisation flexible enough to make sure that countries inside the Eurozone can grow and succeed, and countries outside the Eurozone, like Britain, can find what they need as well? If it's flexible enough, we'll stay. If it's not flexible enough, we'll have to ask ourselves a very profound question: is this organisation for us?
The Prime Minister's pitch wasn't received well by all.
Come on, guys. If you sit down now, you can ask me a question rather than making fools of yourself by just standing up and protesting.
He had to address some anti-EU hecklers. Mr Cameron knows nothing about this process will be easy, but says he's confident of achieving change in the 4 areas he's set out: more power for national parliaments, restricting benefits for migrants, protecting non-Eurozone countries and making the EU more competitive. Critics say this renegotiation is purely cosmetic and won't achieve real reform.
Frankly, what he was doing today is he's setting out the usual scare tactics rather than making a positive case for what Britain could do outside of the EU, because Britain is a strong nation. It could trade freely, it could maintain economic relations with Europe while being outside of the EU and outside of the control of the EU.
Here in Brussels, European leaders will receive David Cameron's demands in writing for the first time tomorrow. The letter's not expected to reveal much that's new, but it will mark the start of an intense period of negotiation and a difficult time for David Cameron as he tries to convince European leaders his reforms are reasonable and persuade Eurosceptics that they're meaningful. Last time the Prime Minister met EU leaders in Brussels, the British question was barely mentioned. In December, there's a crucial meeting to try and hammer out a deal. Before then, David Cameron has much diplomatic work to do. Alex Forsyth, BBC News, Brussels.